who would form part of the consultation process, and we have received tens of thousands of people who got to volunteer from different provinces.
All right.
We have a pledged commitment to say that they want to form part of the consultation process. But it appears that a substantial number of those are already saying that let us start a political party. But we don't want to take that decision yet. We're still going to get to meet with traditional leaders, with religious leaders from all corners of South Africa to get a clearer perspective as to just what should distinguish a political movement if we were to start such as an alternative to the existing political movements in South Africa. So we are in the process of listening and consolidating a process in terms of what we're going to do. This coming Friday, we're going to hold a press conference to announce the National Consultation Team, which is going to crisscross all the 54 districts of South Africa, all the 257 sub-districts, which are municipalities, and all the 9 provinces and all sectors to listen to the people as to just what should constitute a differentiating factor of this movement to the existing political movements in South Africa. And it's so far so good. It's a humbling experience. Like we didn't anticipate that we'll get the number of people who got to pledge solidarity, and both young and old, from different sectors of society. And what is also quite satisfying and humbling is that the people come from different political parties, like literally from all political parties, from the ANC, from the DA, from the EFF, and of course a substantial number from Umkhonto weSizwe. Like we have got very senior leaders, former leaders,
that
black
have applied
leaders,
to be volunteers.
Yeah, very former senior leaders who occupied very senior positions in government, who have pledged solidarity to this particular process and say that we should proceed in terms of what happens. And also we got a lot of invitations from traditional leadership councils, Amakhosi, Zinkosi, Tihosi, Bokosukulu, and everyone else who said that please come and appraise us of the process so that we can have contribution as well as to what is to be done. And we're quite humbled by the commitments that we got to get from different sectors of society. And we are genuinely listening. And once we've listened, we will then take a decision as to how we move forward. We will be guided by what the people are going to say much more clearly. I've learned a lesson before, like where I got to conceptualize and write the founding documents of a political party and literally got to download my political perspectives into the founding documents of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So the Economic Freedom Fighters says it's a Marxist-Leninist organization, is Pan-Africanist. It ascribes to heterodox economics, and those are my personal views in terms of how it got to happen. And admittedly, it did not get to become a mass movement to attract millions of South Africans to give it government responsibility. I got to appreciate much more practically that we need to broaden a movement and mobilize the entire sector of society, the entire different constituencies, and be much more open for contribution, that we must not develop some closed-off cultures and sect-like kind of politics. We need to open up, but there are certain non-negotiable principles that we are going to uphold if we were to open a political organization, and those principles include the commitment to redress of the imbalances of the past. So there is no one who's going to say to us that, no, let us forget what happened under colonialism and apartheid, and then we then accept that. And then the other principle that we're going to firmly defend is the principle of transparency and accountability, that we must have an organization that is much more transparent and accountable to society. But also, we are not going to ascribe to an organization that is defined by narrow presidentialism, where those who are leading that organizations are the be-all and end-all of whatever happens in that particular organization. Because I've observed in other organizations that such is a perennial and very limiting feature which will not make any movement to grow, to appeal to also. Said it in the press conference as well, something which is true. Whether in the EFF or in MK, I've never gone to anyone because we are close and said that I want to lead in this particular position. Like when we started the EFF, like I was advised that I must be deputy president. I didn't say that I want to be deputy president. And then I was elected in conference in Mkhonto Sizwe. I was assigned the role of national organizer when I arrived. But by the way, in the initial discussions before I joined, there was even suggestion by President Zuma, which is a fact, that I must be president of Mkhonto Sizwe, something which I rejected. I said that that will be inappropriate. I can't be president of an organization which you lead, and I can't be president to you, President Zuma, because I've got tremendous respect of your leadership and you must lead this organization. And even the role of Secretary General, President Zuma is the one who called me here in Johannesburg at a hotel to say that we are thinking of making you Secretary General. Even when people were campaigning to say I'm